All right. So the discussion is about vampire age of consent, which is more about the like distant like age.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say.
So like if you were turned into a vampire at 40, it's socially acceptable to date a 40-year-old.
Or even like 30 or 50.
Acceptable.
But as a vampire, being like, oh, I'm a 20-year-old vampire who just got turned, and I'm dating a 300-year-old vampire because they were turned at 20, like problematic.
It's a little odd. But if you were turned at 20 and you're 3,000 years old and you're dating a 17-year-old, go to jail. Go to vampire jail. Go to the dungeons.
With Kirsten Dunst. Okay, so here's the response. I mean, I agree, but like if they're over 100, then it should be fair game, right? Like 100 equals legal age. If you're under 100, you should be within like 10 or 20 vamp years.
I guess that's true. It's a little bit. Okay, hold on. Summarize the question. I
don't quite understand it.
Okay.
All right, let's see. So I said that I would consult the expert, which is my 11-year-old daughter, which is a normal sentence. So, I mean, yeah.
Okay. So, I think what they're trying to say is if you were turned and you're over 100 now, then it's like fine. I don't know. Here, okay.
But you don't get turned at 100. So are they saying you were a 100-year-old, 20-year-old, and that's fine? Or are you saying like, all right, if you're less than 100, so you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, like you have to get all up with a vampire that's 200? Okay.
Because there was a section in the video where we were talking about like older vampires who were turned.
Mm-hmm.
So like if somebody was turned at 50 and they're like a 300 years old and they're dating someone who's like 30, it's a little bit odd, but it's still like fine. That's acceptable. I think that's what they're talking about.
So that is part of the age of consent?
So like...
Or should be?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So basically, if you were like... Yeah. I don't know how to explain it, but if you were
Explain it now!
If you were turned at 50, at least what I think they're saying, if you were turned at 50... it's a little bit odd to be like turning 60 and then you're like dating a 30-year-old. But after you hit the 100-year vampire mark, it's fine, you know?
Well, it's fine for anything under 100, or you're saying I'm 100 and I'm 120, it's fine. Like
it's
which
fine
one?
For anything under 100, I think is what they're saying.
Once you're 100, you can date a 19-year-old like Bella?
No.
That's the problem. No. Within lies the problem.
Oh my God.
As you were.
Okay. So, I gotta look at it again.
Did you take notes?
It's not phrased too weird, but like, my brain doesn't capture things.
I beg to differ.
If they're over 100, then it should be fair game. Like 100 equals legal age.
Pause. Are they saying if you're both over 100, which I agree, 100 plus,
definitely.
No one cares. But we're talking about like within acceptable human age. So yes, I will agree with this person if they're saying 100 plus a 500-year-old vampire, yes. But we are talking about within like normal, acceptable human age. So 100, if you're 100-year-old vampire,
100.
What is the youngest hot Twilight vampire you can date? How have we not already agreed on these rules?
The first problem there is you're saying the word young and hot in the same sentence.
Yeah. Because I'm 100-year-old vampire, and I'm like, you know what? They're hot. And by hot, I mean, come on. How many times have you heard, like, Edward or Bella referred to as hot? Yeah, exactly. I know.
It's really weird.
We don't have to agree, but also T-shirts and America agree. That's what I'm saying. I don't mean I find them hot. I'm not. Sorry, Edward Cullen and Bella.
Oh my God. Okay.
Swan. Not into it.
If they're over 100, it should be fair game. Like 100 equals legal age.
Yep.
If you're under 100, you should be within like 10 or 20 vamp years. Okay.
So wait, if 100 is the equivalent of 18, let's do some math.
Okay. So I think what they're trying to say is, like, if a vampire is, like, 100, and there's another person, vampire or not, they're under 100, they should be within 10 or 20 years of
that. Okay.
vampire. So
I would accept that.
the vamp years is getting me confused, because maybe we're talking, like, if it's a 100-year-old vampire and a 50-year-old vampire, then it's, like,
is that acceptable?
10 or 20 vamp years, I guess.
So,
I don't know.
What about 30? 30, let's see, you were turned at 30, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then another one was turned at 50. Or wait, can we agree, what is the oldest appropriate age to be turned into a vampire?
Are we talking, like...
We're talking,
appropriate
like...
age to date someone,
no,
or just be turned
let's
a vampire?
rewind and just say turned, because I think
Just
that...
turned?
within lies the problem, because we're saying that they look a certain way, but their vampirageness is
I
a certain
think
age.
you can be turned at any age that you're alive, so I'd assume the oldest that anybody has turned someone is, like, in their 90s.
So, but
acceptable
ethically,
age, like,
ethically,
I think probably, like, mid-60s is the highest you can go ethically.
I agree.
Because you're not, like, stumbling around and having to use a cane the rest of your undead life, whatever you would call it.
Some.
But you're also, like, not gonna be able to run really fast and, like, kick people really hard. But if you're a vampire, you're gonna get the strength and the speed.
No,
so
that
it's
makes
like
sense.
I feel like that's the perfect age, actually. Because you're gonna meet a bunch of other vampires, because there's no way that all of the vampires are being turned at 17.
So,
there's
hang
no
on,
way.
wait, what's the perfect age? 60?
Like, mid-60s. 60
Okay.
to mid-60s. Probably, like, the perfect age to get turned.
So wait, Aunt Carrie is over 50, and I don't think we know anyone who is roughly 60. So I'm fascinated by 60 being the perfect age. I love it. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying fascinated.
But, like, you're not in your 50s, so it's clear that you're, like, older. So it's way easier to, like, find all the old people and hunt the old people, obviously.
Also, if you're 60 and you're turned and your body is 60, everything above that is pretty much, right? It's pretty much, like, not weird, not inappropriate. We don't even have to have this rule or discussion. Okay?
So, yeah,
I like
that's, like, the perfect age, because you're gonna get all that speed and that super strength when you're turning into a vampire, and you're not gonna ever die, so all your worries about, like, dying because of old age are out the window.
So being a hot, young vampire is overrated.
Overrated!
Super overrated. 60... Wait, 61? What's the prime age in your vast wisdom? What do you think is the best age?
Let's go 60.
Okay.
Just, like, 60.
That's
the prime age. Because you're not, like... People aren't going to be calling you super old.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be a little bit old. You're, like, middle-aged at that point. Maybe a little bit over middle-aged. I don't know. I don't know how aging works. Can you tell?
I like that you don't know how
aging
aging
vampire,
works.
You're going to be, like... It's going to be way easier to find people to hunt, because old people, you can just go into a nursing home.
So 60
and
old?
they'll just accept
Wow.
it. No. I mean, you can pass as old if you're 60, man, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, you can
Like,
swing both ways. I get it. See, and to me, I would say it's like 50 or even 55, but I do love that you went for 60, because they have some life experience.
Yeah, they have all the life experience. Most of the guys probably know how to hunt at that point. So, like, if you really don't want to kill people, you can just shoot a deer, which I don't agree with. Don't shoot that deer. But if you have to, then shoot the deer.
Christians, not deer. Shiza. I shouldn't have said that. That was bad.
Yeah, Mom,
I didn't
don't
mean
say
that. Christian the deer.
Christian the deer.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I like
Edit
it.
that out and
So, we won't.
Bro, what are you doing? He doesn't answer.
Let him go. He's dead. He's gone. So, according to Mercy Beatrice, optimal age for turning from human to vampire is
like 60
I love
and
it.
a half.
I love it.
probably.
Because you have the life
Yeah.
experience and skills.
And also you have all the chances to like look super freaking cool. Because have you ever seen a vampire with gray hair that doesn't look super freaking cool? Wrong. You've never seen one.
Wait, which
No, see,
vampires have gray hair and look super freaking cool?
Dracula has gray hair in some
Yes.
scenes. There's like a dude from a video game with like white hair. I don't know what the video game is, but everybody's obsessed with him. And then there's another one from an anime who's like a Dracula variant, I guess, with like white/gray hair. I don't know his name
I
either.
think you're missing the number one, and it rhymes with Schmarshmile.
Carlisle is blonde. He was turned at 23.
No, really?
Yeah.
He's supposed to be.
He's supposed to be 23.
Crap. I'm glad that we had this discussion because I am disturbed, and he is no longer a hot 23-year-old. He is he's a very aged 23-year-old. I thought he was like a hot 50-year-old.
No, they cast like a dude in his 40s because that's how you do casting, obviously. That's how you cast 23-year-olds.
Apparently.
Carlisle is fully 23.
Yeah.
Like,
weird.
yeah. Which also adds a lot of plot holes to the original series.
I'm sorry. Adds a lot more.
It adds more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, like, how is everybody going to be completely chill with this 23-year-old doctor with a degree who has, like, 6 kids and a wife?
Because he looks like
They don't live in Utah. He's not Mormon.
He looks like a hot 50-year-old.
Mama's
who
a crush
adopted-
on Carlisle, guys.
Stop.
My mother has a crush on Carlisle.
Don't tell
She's gonna
him.
leave my dad for Carlisle.
Well, Dad knows that. we have a agreement. All right.
Yeah, like he has Lestat from the Interview with the Vampire series.
We
and she has Carlisle.
we both have Lestat from the series of
It's
Interview
like,
with the Vampire.
It's like JJ Momo.
Sam Reed.
You know, you guys-
Sam Reed. Sorry, what?
Mom gets Sam Reed on Mondays and Tuesdays, and then she gets Jason Momoa on Wednesdays and Thursdays.
So when does Dad?
switches it out like that. Okay?
I like it. Okay.
And then you guys get to have everyone else.
And then we have the weekend to pretend like we love each other.
Yeah.
Aww, parenting.
And on Fridays, it's a free-for-all. You can do whatever you want on Fridays.
Can I?
Sure.
All right,
You can do
you're
whatever you want
11.
forever.
We're just going to stop there, and I
Aw.
appreciate your permission to have weekends without Jason Momoa, a.k.a. JJ Momo, and Sam Reed.
Food!
Feed this child. Feed me.